I'm
Okay.
afraid to.
Okay. Then who?
I will only say
Mhm.
this about the difference between the words freedom and liberty, as I
Okay.
learned them.
Hmm.
That both of these are words that have codes built into them for people who are on that level, and that is that freedom was originally known as freedom,
Hmm. Yes.
DOME, which was a reference to the brain,
Hmm.
the mental capacity, and that the people who are truly free are those people who are free to be thinkers,
Hmm.
which is basically the crux of our conversations. We're
Yes.
introducing information that's designed to help you
Hmm.
think. We can't
Yes.
make you think. That has to be your choice. But we assist you if, in fact, you are one of those people, those chosen few people who want to think and be rational and reasonable and logical, etc. So free dome was reduced to being free dumb. It's in the pronunciation.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so that's
Hmm.
dealing with the mind, whereas liberty is dealing with an effect that takes place within the heart region.
Yes.
Lib is from the Semitic word lub. That
Mm.
word is found even in the Quran, and it
Mm.
represents the heart. But lub represents not only the heart, because we know the word for that is qalb, which contains those same two letters LB, QLB. Lub is
Mhm.
LBB. But lube has to do with the looping. See, the word loop
Mhm.
comes from
Mhm.
lube because it represents the blood that is being pushed from the heart's open valves.
Yes.
And that blood is sent up to the brain because the brain gets preferential treatment. So it's
Yes.
talking about the relationship now between the heart and the brain,
Mhm.
the heart and the brain. So
Yes.
people who call themselves liberated
Mhm.
have to be liberated on those two levels, the levels of your sensitivities and sentiments, how you feel about things, but also beyond that, how you think about things. There's a
Yes.
relationship, as you've always said, between the heart and the mind, or the
Mhm.
emotions and the mind, or the heart and the brain, as they would call it. So
Yes.
liberty actually goes beyond just the ability for your mind to be free to roam. You could
Mhm.
end up anywhere just roaming, but you can't end up anywhere if you're allowing your sensitivities to help guide you, right and wrong. Anybody ever
Yes.
hear of that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Moral, sanctity,
Yes.
so
Mhm.
that's liberty. And I believe the Constitution speaks about, as you said, justice and liberty, or liberty and justice for all. The
Mhm.
only question we have, based on what you've been saying, is who this all actually is.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's an accepted form of slavery now. So you have the freedom to be a slave. You see, you don't have
That's
the
deep.
freedom not to be a slave now,
That's deep.
unless you, unless you join us. You see, and if you join the Freemasons, well, then you're going to you'll have a bit more privileges than the rest of the slaves. You see,
Yeah, just a
so but
few
you're still
more.
going to be a slave.
Yeah.
Um, and I
So,
think something just came to mind, dear brother.
mhm.
It's free dome. You see, we're talking about free domain,
Yes,
a
yes,
dominion. You see,
that's right.
so they want a free dominion, free. Uh, in your ideal explanation, you're talking about freedom from any offensive matter that would be an affront to the divine order, affront to
Yes,
our
beautifully put.
creator, if you will. So we want that kind of freedom. Of course, we want to live in that freedom. And when you're submitted to Allah in the right way and you're submitted to guidance, you have this freedom. You become like a bird. You can fly. You can go to this tree or go to the next tree, and maybe nest 1 year in this tree and nest in next year in another tree. It's okay. So you've got a
Mhm.
little mirror there on paradise. So it's a dominion, but their dominion is material. You see, and their spiritual dominion is metaphysical um, tyranny. And they use magic. The highest form of magic is propaganda. The highest form of magic is to use the word, misuse the word, to
Yeah,
mean something other than what you are pretending it means, you see. And they get into this sort of
yeah,
thing. And
beautiful.
it it becomes a trap. You see, it becomes a trap. So, with that being said, thank you so much, brother. Let's move on to
Mhm.
the next question.
Okay, we have several of them here. So let's see.